not only everywhere you go in the community, it shows it's okay to eat like that at home, in the school system, and at your church.
Right.
They do fish fries and all this other stuff. It's still unhealthy foods because it's fish. It doesn't mean it's healthy if
you deep fry it
you deep
with all that breading and everything, of course.
Exactly.
Right. Yo, thanks for locking in and welcome to the Gym Life Podcast. Today's guest is Rennada Wiggins. Rennada is from Memphis, Tennessee, and a straight hustler. She started her own company working with kids with special needs called The Art of Runway to help them build confidence. Today, we're going to talk about breaking the cycle in our society with cultural norms. Let's vibe out.
Hey, Jyima.
What's going on, Rennada? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You ready to get our workout on today?
I'm ready. I'm here for it.
Here for it. Look, I got to tell you, since you've been back on your grind, you have been getting it in with the classes. Like,
I have.
You know what I mean?
Because I gained too much weight. I got to stay looking good.
You felt it.
Not only did I feel it, I see it and I saw it, and I didn't like what I was looking at, so I'm back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've been working together for a long time since you moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah, maybe 8 years ago now?
8 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I met you and we started training 8 years ago, how long have you been in Los Angeles?
Maybe 5 years, because it's approaching 12 now?
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe 4 years. Yeah.
4 years?
Yeah, maybe 4 years.
Okay. And you were born in Memphis?
No, I'm sorry. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee.
Born in Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee.
You know, I've never been there, ever.
It may not be the place to go to right now because they out there, but Memphis, Tennessee is a real cool place when you're raising your children. Okay. And you're already in that place in life where you want to be. But ideal for someone like you and I, someone that's on our grind. It's nothing there. That's why I left. That's why you left and came to LA. Yeah, it wasn't challenging who I wanted to or who I want to become. So, I'm here, more opportunities here. And it's always something to motivate you here. Memphis, you get what you get. It's like you go to work, go home, that's it. For me, I need to be able to move around, to maneuver, to find a place that makes me feel comfortable. Meaning career-wise. Right.
And I mean, you seem like you hit the ground running.
Yeah, I had no choice because I came alone. I drove here from Memphis, Tennessee, and didn't look back. I was here by myself, no place to live, no job. I just came. I said, I'm out. Only thing I remember looking back at that time, I had a 300 Chrysler. Okay, and I didn't want to.
Hey, listen, those are fly, though.
Those were fly. Those was, I thought I was a drug dealer. just joking. But I remember driving, and I only brought my TV because I don't know why I felt I didn't want to buy another TV. I was like, no matter where I end up, I can watch TV. So I remember having 2 bags of clothes and other clothes in my trunk. When you look back, you just see this big old TV. And I had to cover it up because I'm staying in these hotel rooms. I got to get a place. But yeah, I came here. It's been 12 years. And you got to hustle out here. Rent is like $3,000 to be in a studio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be on the streets if you don't hustle.
Like if you don't. See, it's cool you came here with the mentality like, look, I'm going to make sure I got my TV. So I can watch TV, right? But other than that, I want to make sure I'm hitting the ground. I'm going to start on my business. I'm going to work and do everything, which is beautiful. So there's a lot I want to talk about today. But first, I'm going to break down the workout that we're going to be doing. Cool. Then you could choose the hand weights that you want to go with, right?
Okay, let's
go. So first, for our workout, I'm going to grab me. So I'm going to go with the 15. So for me, I'm going to have the 15-pounders. I'll show the workout first. Then you can choose which ones you want, right? So the first one is... We're going to have the weights here. We're going to squat, come up, 1, 2, right? Squat, come up, 1, 2. It'll be 10 reps, right? After that, we're going to lunge, arm raise, right? So we're going to lunge back, arm raise. That'll be 10 on each side, right? After that, the weights will be down. And then we're going to go modified plank jacks out here for 10, okay? Then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to have the 2 weights, and we're going to go for 10 curls. Okay? All right. So I'll let you choose your weights, and then I'm going to start the timer, and we off rocking.
Here we go. I'm going to be smart about it.
Okay, so timer set and we on for, you can put those down for now. And then we're going to start with our warm-up. So for the warm-up, each move is going to be 1 minute. You're going to step to the side for a side lunge, but feel the stretch in your inside thigh. Yep. And then we'll go to the other side. Here. Okay. So we'll go side to side. Okay, so hit the ground running, and you started the art of
runway.
The art of runway. Okay. And that's working with kids with special needs.
Special needs, mostly focusing on Down syndrome and autism.
And what made you want to do that?
So let's go back. When I used to model for Ebony Fashion Fair, when I got off a tour, I started directing a modeling agency back at home, which is Memphis, Tennessee. And then a young lady brought her daughter in with Down syndrome, asking me to help her. And that's how I got started. So here it is, 12, 13 years later, working with people with special needs to build their confidence and to live more independently.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful, and I see it. So today I really wanted to get into Memphis, okay? Growing up, how old were you when you moved from Memphis?
Maybe 23.
23, okay. So born and pretty much raised in Memphis. What was it like growing up in terms of like your food culturally, right? So like what's something that everybody ate and it was just associated with like this is what we do? Like what are some common foods growing up that you guys had?
What we didn't eat is the question. I think, this is my opinion, and it's solely my opinion about it. I think in African American communities, they just put anything. Nothing for health reasons, but anything to make $1. Okay. So for us, we grew up on snacks. We grew up on...
What kind of snacks?
Man, oatmeal cakes, chocolate cakes, Oreos, cookies, Doritos.
I remember the oatmeal pies, yeah.
Everything that was poison to our body, everything. So...
And it was very normal.
Normal.
Right.
This is what we do. You're going to get a bag of chips. This is so funny. I remember when one person goes to the store and get chips. I don't know if it's a South thing, but the whole community come out. They like share, and you got to give up some of your freaking chips. So for me, I ran in the house and I ate my chips because
you didn't want to share.
I didn't want to share. But yeah, so you had that kind of junk food, and then you had your fried chicken, your pig feet, your chillins, all that unhealthy food. You had your tacos. You have your everything that was really unhealthy. But thankful to my mom.
Okay.
She cooked from home. Like she didn't believe in ordering Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Okay.
Taco Bell.
So what are some of the fast food places that were frequented by, let's say, you and your friends in like high school?
Oh, Taco Bell for sure.
Taco Bell.
Little Caesar Pizza, Pizza Hut, KFC, Popeyes, Church's Chicken.
And they're everywhere. Super convenient.
Everywhere, on every corner. They're there. McDonald's, Burger King.
So my question is, during that time, did you have any idea, like, okay, these foods may cause some level of like low energy, or they may have an impact on my overall health, or it's just like they tasted good and this was it, but you didn't have like any idea of how they could have an impact on your health later on?
Absolutely not. No? We, back in the community, they don't talk to you about eat healthy. They just talk to you about just to eat. Eat is good. You eating for the flavor. You're eating for the taste. You eating because you need to eat for the day.
Right.
So at that time, no, I didn't know. I was just eating. Then people always used to say, you're young. You can eat whatever you want to eat. In reality, that's not true.
That's it's interesting, right? Like, so we start these habits super young, right? Where it's like you have these fast food places, and it's quick and it's easy and it's convenient when we're talking about Kentucky Fried Chicken and churches and all these places to go. And a lot of times, and I've heard this a lot growing up too, where it's like, oh, you're young, you're fine, you'll burn it off. not realizing that as we get older, you're not going to break free from those habits.
It's a habit.
Right.
It's a habit. So anything we do that's a habit is our norm in reality.
Right.
So
and then we'll grab the weights now. So now we'll go squat 1, 2 for 10. All right. So one thing is my daughter lives in Atlanta, so I'll go to visit her sometimes. And I remember going to visit her, and I'm like, hey, Titi, I noticed that a lot of people here are in wheelchairs, but they look young. And she said it's like things like gout and diabetes that people in their 30s and 40s are getting. Did you notice that?
Yeah, and high blood pressure. That is major in our community, high blood pressure. I didn't realize it until I started speaking to a lot of people. And it's normal to us because we're thinking 170, 180. You know, they're saying now that it's hypertension. Okay. But in reality, once again, we wasn't raised up on to focus on our high blood pressure.
Okay. So it's almost like you'll see aunties, uncles, older people in the neighborhood coming back from the doctors with high blood pressure, different chronic
diabetes,
illnesses.
everything.
And it's just, we think that's just what comes with age.
And we think it's, oh, he's older. He had a heart attack. He had a stroke. In reality, that's not what it was supposed to be. But no one talked to us because Larry down the street ate tacos all week or eating all this sugar or this salt. So we didn't know. And you don't know until you actually get out there, world you in, and educate yourself.
Right.
And it's hidden in the black community.
You know what's funny that you say, I have never even really thought of it, is not only has the food become something that we've normalized, but also the chronic illnesses that come along with it. So it's not that we even think there's anything wrong because we think this is just what happens with age. Wow.
In age, yeah.
Is there anybody personally you remember growing up? And I think it's always like those people that were close to you in age, maybe like 5, 10 years older, that you remember that you saw when their health kind of took a turn?
I would have to say no, because keep in mind, I moved away. So I don't see it outside of seeing it on social media. Okay,
so you'll see people on social media maybe that you
and I look at them and you wonder what happened with their weight, and then they're taking these pictures, they're in the bed, pray for me, I got diabetes. But prayer really doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. You're going to have to do some movement on praying.
Right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right up to our feet, then we get curls for 10. Which is almost another thing, right? Is the culture of religion. I'm assuming, and you have to pardon my ignorance, I think the only place in the South I've been is pretty much Atlanta and Florida, right?
Yeah.
But growing up in Massachusetts, we definitely had churches, but it seems like in the South, religion is more incorporated into your day-to-day life. It's outside of going to church. It's that norm is carried out throughout the week as well, right?
Yes. Even in church, speaking about food again, in church, that's what they did back in the South.
Okay.
They had, they sold plates.
Sold plates?
Yeah, they selling plates to raise money for churches, and it's still the same thing. Cook fish, bake chicken sometimes, but all the unhealthy foods, when you get older, you look at it, and you say, oh, fried food? Why not baked? No one really was baking. Grandma used to bake. We're talking about cakes at this time, but not only everywhere you go in the community, it shows it's okay to eat like that at home, in the school system, and at your church. They do fish fries and all this other stuff. It's still unhealthy foods because it's fish. It doesn't mean it's healthy if you
deep fry
it.
With all that bread in there, of course.
Exactly. So wherever you turn, it was that in front of us, but then we have to go beyond that. Who taught them it was okay to eat like that? Because somebody taught us, and we're teaching someone else. So that's why I say it's important to learn how to eat. Right. You got to learn. Right. Educate yourself.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. And it's going to take a lot, right? Because what happens is, just like you said, this is passed down from generation to generation. So when we have our elders telling us these foods are good or these foods are not good, you would almost be asking for trouble if you try to challenge what the older people in your community are saying, right?
Absolutely.
We're talking to the grandfathers and the grandmothers that are now saying, hey, listen, you better come eat this plate. And then you can't, we can't turn around and then be like, no, I'm not eating it because it's going to raise my blood pressure. They're going to look at you like what? Yeah. So it seems like it has to be one kind of steering people towards the information, but then also kind of like.
I'll grab a towel.
Oh, yeah, good. Grab your towel. You good. You grab water too.
Okay, good.
Water if you need. And it's almost like kind of getting them to understand that there's a different way, and speaking up and be willing to take the level of critique that may come with it. You know.
Absolutely.
All right.
I think that speaking about blood pressure, we never talked about that. That word itself is like a whole nother language. Yeah. Imagine talking about high blood pressure at the age of 17. Yeah. Yeah. In the South. Right. The projects. Right. Or wherever you live in the South, we don't talk about, is it high blood pressure? We don't talk about those things until you get in your late 30s and 40s. That's when you hear about it, because no one told you can't eat this. You better be okay. You better eat in proportions. You don't want to have a heart attack. You don't want to have a stroke. But thank God to my mom, because she was really big on that. I remember, and I didn't understand it, but I remember at the age of like 6, and my mom has 8 kids. Okay. She used to take us out to a track field. Okay. And we used to walk around and run. At that time, I'm a kid. I'm just running because I'm a kid. Right. This whole time, she was showing us you need to work out. And that's why I've been working out for my whole life. I may stop, I'll fall off, I'm only human, but I'm back in the gym. I'm back in the gym. I didn't realize that she was teaching me, even though I had both worlds. My mom used to believe in cooking at home. She knew how much sugar, salt, all of this other stuff she used in a meal versus buying it from KFC. All this salt and this batter on it, we think it's healthy. But I had both experiences, good and bad. But now I'm at the age like now, scratch all of that, start from scratch. None of these foods really are healthy for us when you buy them from the restaurants. It's just a quick fix. Right. And it doesn't even taste good, right? So at least if I'm going to eat, I'm going to eat unhealthy, let it be fulfilling. Right. But no, it's best to cook at home because you can measure the things that you're putting into your body, and you know what you're putting into your body. Yeah, and what I also like, and we'll go back to squat 1 too, is that your mom taking you to the track, that little bit makes a huge difference, because a lot of times we think of being healthy or being in a space of wellness that it means being like stick thin supermodel. Like, no, that's not what it's about. All it's about is making adjustments so that you feel your best every day. Exactly. Right? And when you feel your best, then you're able to do more. Right? So I love the fact that you guys at least went to the track and did some things, because then that was normalized. Right? So it's almost like, well, I had another question too. When you came to LA, I'm sure you developed some different eating habits, right? I did. And when you go back home, do you ever try to make some changes, or like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have this? Yeah, I could try that all day, but you got to understand, the mindset is the word where you got to challenge it. If I go back home changing a mindset of someone that never experienced or been exposed to my reality, you're creating chaos. Who do you think you are? You think you're better than me. You done moved to Hollywood. Now you're doing this. And that's the mindset of someone who does not understand it's not me being Hollywood. Right. It's just me trying to have a better lifestyle. Right. So I've been home before and like, hey, you eat that, they'll look at you crazy. Right. So you got to pick your poison. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell anyone that's not mentally ready to change their mind and how they eat. if their mindset is still the same.
Right.
You can't convince someone that already sees the cup halfway empty.
Yes.
So
well, it's funny because now, to me, there's so many different populations that need to be addressed. When I mean populations, you have the population where they don't have the information, right? And they don't know the implications of the food they're eating. Then you have the population like, let's say yourself, that go and get some of the information. Now, for the people like you, how do you introduce that information to the people you love, right? And a way to do that maybe is, first of all, finding the ones that trust you the most.
Yes.
Right? And always remembering we have to do it little by little. Because I go through the same thing when I go home. It's like, hey, why'd you eat that? And then it's like, oh, here you go, you brand new. You don't eat this no more. And it's like, no. It's just that I don't really feel good. And if you saw that you didn't feel as well, or you being tired or having all these things weren't normal, then you will probably want to make the change as well. We're good. Let me go to planks. Plank and then plank. So that's a challenge in itself. And one way I think is good to kind of reframe it, and I've been trying this later, is forget about eating to lose weight. Forget about being this super fit person. All I would ask you is pay attention to what foods give you energy and what foods don't give you energy.
Absolutely, I agree.
Right?
Yep.
So how do you feel after you have that big plate of food? You shouldn't feel tired. You shouldn't feel fatigued. You shouldn't feel like laying up all day, which is, we'll go 10, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we can't have this conversation about our communities and the food without bringing up the itis, right? Where the itis is almost like a badge of honor, right? Somebody come through, cook, and everybody, look, everybody laid out, they sleep. That means the food was good. Yep. So it's like, what are we attaching to this feeling of fatigue and being overwhelmed by what we just ate? It's almost like a badge of honor. You know what I mean?
But by you saying it makes me think about, and I understand it, but it makes me think about your career. You're a trainer. If you train 5 or 6 people, at the end of the day, you're exhausted.
Right.
Well, job done, Same thing, eating. We correlate, at the end of the day, or whatever we're doing, we finish tired. That was an accomplishment. It was good. And I think that's how, for me, at least me, like with me, if I'm working all day and I'm tired, I may think I've done some good, but we got to also understand, because we're tired, it doesn't mean we had a good day. Because we're tired, it doesn't mean we'll accomplish anything. It means that we actually work harder than what we should have. And then when you're eating, if you're tired, you got to question, what food made me feel like this? I shouldn't feel tired at the end of the day. So I think sometimes by you saying that, it's more an accomplishment, because we're taught, you win a race, you out of breath, a track, you did good.
You did good.
You played on the football field, you ran and knocked them out, and you feel good because you're tired.
Right.
Every good thing ends with, I'm tired. Or, like when we work out boxing, I'm tired, but it's a good feeling tired. I got energy.
Right.
So we have to correlate that tired, but I'm still amped at the end of the night.
So able to do something. I don't even know if you realize how brilliant what you just said was, but I remember I had a mentor when I first started training out here in LA, and he said, if your client leaves exhausted, you haven't done the right job. He said your client should be able to work out an hour after they finish again. Because what will they then do? Then they'll be able to eat again tomorrow. That feeling of exhaustion, we have to kind of reframe around everything, around work, around eating, around working out, all those things. You should almost get to 70 or 80% of whatever your capacity is. So we frame it around, let's say, working out. You shouldn't be going at 100 so you're completely exhausted. When you're eating, you shouldn't eat so much that you're completely exhausted. So you should almost look at trying to stop when you're about 70 or 80% so that you can go and do it again. Right?
Because say you got a family, does that leave time for your children, your wife, or whomever you have at home? If you go home 100% done, now something else has that void.
Right.
Your wife, your children, or your side hustle. Something is getting a short end of the stick. So how I'm trying to organize my life is that I'm giving 100% to everything, even myself, but I'm only doing it at 50%. Right. So I can have time and the energy to do it. But 100 still can mean that you did good and your results can show 50 because how I'm trying to break it down is that I have my job in the morning with autism, then I have my real estate, and then I have the nonprofit, and I'm still writing books, and I'm in production. If I go in at 100, because it doesn't make me tired, I'm going in at 100, I'm still leaving room at the end of my cutoff day. I'm ready to go to the gym. Right, I'm ready to go and do it. And if you leave like I just want to go home, you really did nothing then. You think you did 100. But you can work at 100 and only put 50% in. That's when you actually start learning and you've been passionate, you study, you research. That's why I charge like I charge. I can do something with the Down syndrome community in 30 minutes that I got paid at 100%. Because I mastered
efficiency.
Exactly, exactly.
Right back around. That's an insane point. We're going to squat 1, 2. And for the people who don't know, we working out in some serious heat, Nada. So I got to give you some props for banging out this workout with me in this heat.
Trying to get super thick, but being toned with it. It is hot, but it feels good.
Oh, yeah. I like breaking a sweat when I work out. You get 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Then we go lunge, arm raise, and we'll get 10. Go down and up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Did you go to church growing up?
I did.
Yeah?
Born and raised in the church. My mom made us go to church every Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
Not just church, but Sunday school.
Oh, okay.
After Sunday school, you came downstairs for church. Yeah, I did.
And it made me think about right after church, always eating. Right? Like those big meals, the potlucks, everybody bring their food. So, good. And I think at the heart of it is almost establishing movement. 10,
yeah.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What kind of church did you go to?
Church of God in Christ.
What
Christian.
Christian? Okay. Let me get 10 across. And tell me what, you went on Sundays?
Sundays.
Tell me what your Sunday was like. So you get up, how long was church?
Yeah, got up, went to church. If I could remember, it felt like 2 hours.
Okay.
But we had Sunday school, which was like an hour for Sunday school. Go downstairs, church, another hour or 2. Leave there, Sunday dinner.
And Sunday dinner, now, when you say Sunday dinner, is it friends, family, just the immediate family?
No, just the family. Since it was so many of us, it was 8 of us, so it was just my mom cooked. She always cooked the day before. You had your macaroni and cheese, but she cooked like that all the time. So I guess it could have been bigger because she cooked desserts with it, but you have your mac and cheese, your turkey and dressing, you have your sweet corn, your cornbread, Jiffy, or maybe homemade, baked chicken. She always threw in green things, like anything green beans, broccoli, asparagus. So we had a meal that actually can last a whole week in my home. So my mom believed in eating from home. Not everything was cooked that was healthy, but being a single parent, you're doing the best you can do raising 8 kids with 3 jobs and still trying to go back to college. So it was enough, but she still would let us know we had to eat in proportions. It wasn't one of those parents, you got to eat until your food, keep eating until your food is off your plate. It wasn't that. If you're not going, whatever you don't finish, wrap it up, put it back in the refrigerator, and eat it tomorrow because I'm not cooking the next day. That was her thing. But you could appreciate it now because it makes you want to cook at home. It makes you want to read the back of a label and see what it says that's in this product. But that was my Sunday.
You know, it's as you started talking, what it made me think about is, as I got older, I worked at like the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCAs, and we did a lot of initiatives. And one thing when you're trying to establish different initiatives for the community, it's the question always comes up, well, how do I afford how to eat healthy? And sometimes it's not even about trying to do things you can't, right? Yeah. So if we can't afford to get like the kale and the avocados and all the good food, the one major adjustment we could make, as your mom did brilliantly, is, and it actually contributes to managing money, is don't eat everything.
Yeah, don't eat everything.
Like, that's one of the main things we could do. Is like, you know what? On your plate, I want you to finish 80% of your plate and leave the rest back for tomorrow.
Exactly.
Right? Even that small adjustment will make a big difference.
Another thing was, she used to say, do not eat your junk food before your meal. You're going to ruin your appetite. And it took years to understand that was true. Right. So like now, if I go and eat a snack now, I'm not going to eat my food.
Right.
It fulfilled that for me. So now I ate extremely unhealthy at a time of my hunger.
Right.
So she used to say, no, that 7-Up cake, don't touch it. That banana pudding, don't touch it. Eat your food. And she used to make us wait to have dessert. It wasn't like immediately out there, eat your dessert.
Wait a little bit, yeah.
Let your food digest. Whatever that meant at the time.
You said something I'm not familiar with that I want to hit. 7-Up cake?
Yeah, 7-Up cake.
I ain't heard of 7-Up cake.
Oh,
Tell me 7-Up. What's 7-Up cake?
It's like you're drinking a 7-Up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like a 7-Up. Man, my mom, she knew how to cook everything from scratch. You're like, where you come up with this? So every dessert she knew how to cook. That's how I'm so good when it comes to banana pudding. We were raised, don't eat that box pudding. Use it from evaporated milk. Oh, she didn't play, and everything was from scratch. Her bread, scratch. And she used to work in the kitchen as well. So she was really good at that. But 7-Up cake is like a pound cake. Okay. And don't hold me to it. I don't remember everything. But it's also, it has like ingredients of a 7-Up soda. Okay. So she knew how to do that. I really got to get ingredients from like my sisters, because I really wasn't big on 7-Up cake. I was big on pound cake, chocolate cake, obviously, you know, banana pudding. I think I did the other hand. Oh, sorry. Banana pudding. Okay. But yeah, so I have to get the ingredients, make sure I give it to you. My sister has them. But yeah, 7-Up cake, she didn't play about eating desserts before our meal.
You know what I think is important is also understanding that on top of it being tough to afford the good food, we like certain foods for the enjoyment of it, right? So those desserts bring us back to, you know, being closer with the friends and family, fun, things like that. So even something as small as changing one ingredient in the dessert. Yes. So instead of whole milk, maybe use oat milk. Instead of, you know, processed sugar, grab like agave or honey. Yes. And still have that dessert, but make one small adjustment to it. And what I think is anytime, and I think with my friends, they always look at how I eat and they make fun of it. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's so far removed from how they eat that they think I'm not going to make that big jump. But as you've gotten older, what they do is now they make little adjustments, and they're like, I'm not going to get to you. I'm like, the goal is not to get to where I'm at. The goal is to make a small adjustment within your life. For yourself, yeah. And you're going to see it'll happen that way. And then plank. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And I think what's cool is that even for yourself, so we trained for a pretty good while when you first got out here. Then we didn't train for a while. But even during that time when you feel like you fell off, your overall wellness didn't go completely to shit. Yeah. Right? Because once you have that baseline, you may not be exactly where you want to be, but you're not going to get to the point where you need to be at the doctor's office.
Exactly.
Rest.
And I think that's the major thing is that we as people in general tend to think of extremes, right? Either I'm healthy or I'm unhealthy, right? So we know that we like to have, let's say, a certain dessert, or we like to have chips, and we like to have that, once a week. We like, well, I'm never going to be healthy. Like, no, you can still be quote unquote healthy with that.
But in moderations.
And just have your version of it. And then what happens is, eventually it's going to be your own growth pattern, right? Such as yourself. What were some of the foods that you ate growing up that you probably would never touch today?
Oh my God, chillings.
Chitlins?
Oh my God, never ever. Pig feet. Never ever.
He said never.
I don't know what I was thinking as a kid. I remember my mom used to buy the pig feet in a jar. You could just see the pink feet. I used to thought it was cool to take one out, wrap it up in aluminum foil, and take it to school and munch on it. I don't know what I was thinking. Never again would I eat chillings. Never again would I eat pig feet. Now when you think about it, it makes me want to gag a little bit, but those are two things I know for sure I would never eat again, ever.
And you could imagine you could feel the difference, right?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna go side lunch. We're not cool down now. That's funny. I think for me, we used to go to the store and grab honey buns.
Oh, I still love honey buns.
Honey buns. Oh man.
I like the glaze. I can think about it now.
You know what I mean?
But they're not as glazy and soft as they used to be, so it's not as good. But I do love honey buns.
Oh man, I remember. And some of my boys used to take them, even like put them in the microwave and heat them up a little bit, and they would kill them honey buns. I remember being older and trying to have like a bite of a honey bun. I was like, you could taste how sweet it was.
It doesn't taste the same though. Nothing really tastes the same anymore. So that's why it's a good time to be able to change your habits because it's not fulfilling anymore.
Right. Or
KFC, not fulfilling anymore.
Right. And being that, for events, and kind of being that person in your family, right? Like, it's going to start with that person kind of being the outlier.
Yeah.
And if you're that person, not trying to force everything down the person's. And sometimes it's our fault as well, and I don't mean you and I specifically, but the people that get the information as we get older, and then we want to, because we're excited, we learn something new, we run back and throw all this shit out. We need to eat better. It's like, no, it can't be like that. So if we the person that's, even listening to this and getting that information, it's making those small adjustments. And one thing I think is big is like if you go to the corner store, sometimes instead of grabbing a bag of chips, grab a bag of cashews. Yeah. Right? Instead of grabbing soda, grab, maybe a flavored water, right? It's not that much, it's not something that is going to be as impactful as, like, let's say, switching to a salad, but it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah. I agree.
Wait a second, quiet. How you feel after that?
Oh, I'm good.
You good, huh?
I'm good.
We did 4 rounds.
And I'm sweating. I wasn't keeping count. That's a pro in me now. It feels good.
If we're going to be here, we'll be here all day. I'm good.
Yeah, it feels real good. If you're not breaking a sweat, once again, you're not doing anything.
Right.
With you, I actually sweat from head to toe. Like if I'm on my own, little sweat here and there in the normal places, but working out with you, you get a full body workout.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I like. I like to feel drenched when I'm leaving.
Yeah. It's funny. I think I don't know if you travel to other countries where they walk a lot. But what I've noticed in other countries where they walk so much that it kind of offsets some of their things, right? Like, so you could be in Japan and then have a big plate of sushi with white rice, but because you're walking everywhere, it's not going to have the same impact that if you eat that food and then just kind of stay
and go home, lay down.
Yes. Yeah. Which is
and that's the thing. I do eat. I'm not 100% there, but as you know, I'm walking myself to it. But I don't feel as guilty if I grab some chips because in my mind, I need to go to the gym and work those calories. At least if you do it, at least be ready to work it back out. You can't do it and just go to sleep. So I'm very big on my calories intake because, as I told you earlier, you eat a bag of chips. I don't know, what is the calorie like, 270? you know how long it takes to be on the treadmill to burn 270 calories?
That's why I see you up here sprinting before class.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah, because in my mind, I know I'm going to eat something, so I need to sprint.
I need to sprint, right.
But ideal, you need at least burn almost 1,000 calories running to eat a bag of chips.
Right.
I know the math is off there, but still, in my mind, I need to burn 1,000 to eat a bag of chips. 270 is not worth that fulfillment if I got to go and be in a gym for 3 and 4 hours.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. But then even just having that mindset, right? We go side bends. So even just having that mindset or that level of awareness, which some people don't even give enough credit to, right?
Yeah.
So it's like just understanding what that food is, what that food does, and associating with exercise and movement. Just we don't have to be compulsive about it.
No,
but
you
just
don't.
having that level of awareness alone is going to make a big difference in what you do. Because naturally, as you feel better, you're going to want to keep feeling better. You know.
But like for me, I try to reward myself in a lot of things that I do. Even like with like when if I know I want some sweets, I have to earn it. My thing is, okay, if you go to the gym today and you really give it 100%, you can have that chocolate cake.
Right.
Same thing with my book. You finish your book, you can buy you a Louis bag.
Right.
It doesn't matter if the book sell, you did a task that you said you were going to do. Not only did you do it, you actually completed it at 100%. Now you deserve that reward. Yeah. So if with you, I work out 3 days a week with you, and if I work at 5, I tell myself, okay, you go 5 days, you can have that cheat day. It's like I have to earn it for myself.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's not what you look like with something on. Anybody can look good with high waist pants on, but it's what you look like when you take it off.
Right.
And that's how I look at life. How you feel, but what do you look? How good do you look naked? Right. Not with women. We hide. You see,
that's what y'all do.
We hide. See, we can hide this waist, and I can do this, and I look like I got a small waist. But when you take it off, what you look like versus what you feel. But to me, I want to look good naked. Right. Not in a sexual way, but naked.
To yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
But anybody could. Now they got these pants with the humps here, the humps here. That's not me. I can go to the gym and create those humps. Right. But the world has given us anything and everything, and we just take it. It's easy. But it's actually, you go to the gym, like with me, I gained it 20, 30 pounds. But because my journey of losing it, I got discipline. So now if I fall off again, I know what it takes to get back there.
And that's the key. Knowing exactly what it takes. I think the gem that you and I should take, and I hope everybody takes, is we shouldn't be doing anything to full capacity, right? We don't need to do anything at 100%. We need, whether it's working out, whether it's our job or our career, and especially when it's eating, right? We always want to leave a little bit of room to be able to do it again.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Well, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. This is good sweat out. I sweated out for today. Now I can go and have a honey bun.